Zach, how are you, sir?
What's going on, man?
Oh, just thought we'd do a little live stream. It's got a lot going on.
Another week in crypto, crazy weekend. Yeah, man. It's big things happening too this week. So
Crazy week. Yeah. So let's kind of jump right in here. Let's talk about what we got going on this week. I know we've got Chairman Powell. We're going to talk about him. We got ECB, the European Central Bank, however you say that. Did I get that right? I can't remember if I get that right. I always screw that one up. Basically, the ECB is going to have their meeting in Europe, talk about their interest rate hikes. We got the labor reports. So we want to talk about that. And we got a bunch of other stuff we want to talk about. So I'm going to let you take the stage. What do you think we're going to get on Wednesday, Zach, when Chairman Powell gives us his speech and makes the big, huge announcement?
Yeah, I remember reading an article you actually sent me, and the temperature in the room right now, very similar to where we were, last rate hike. So I'm going to go with another 25 basis point hike. Could this be our last one? We shall see. But that's my best guess. How about you?
I think we're going to get the 25 basis points. I think that's baked in. I think that's what, and by baked in, I mean, of course, just the fact that, that's what the market is expecting. And we were looking at SHIB before we went live. We both have, I think added our bags. We'll come back to that. But, look, the market's down 4 points, man. I mean, I think that the market's a little spooked right now. But not in a bad way. I don't think everybody's running for the hills. By the way, this move down, it was about 2% about 20 minutes ago. So it's definitely moved down more aggressive. I think everybody is, so I got to get my buttons right on. That was just showing me. I think everybody is expecting 25 basis points. I think we get another raise in June. And then it's like it's like what happens there. And a final thought before I throw it back to you. We all know what we're going to really be doing on Wednesday. We're going to be watching his speech to see what he says, how he says it, the tone, if he brushes his hair a certain way, whatever. Right. So yeah. What's your sense there? What do you think he's going to say?
That's really what we have to wait for, because the 25 basis points, I agree. I think it's baked into the market right now, but what's the temperature in the room in terms of the rest of the year? And I think we know the reporters are going to ask those questions. How much he divulges, that will make the market move one way or another, right?
Yep. So kind of staying within this vein, there's Raider talking about switching our attention, still talking about the macro here. We've got ECB meeting. The European Central Bank is going to meet, I think, on Thursday. And the context for that meeting is that, we're going to get what are they going to do? Are they going to raise the rate or not? Because this to me is the first part of this video, or the first part of this discussion is kind of the overall macro state of crypto, right? We've got Federal Reserve here in the States. We got ECB in Europe. Are they going to raise the rates? Most likely. I don't know if you remember, we had the UK come out of last month. It was 10%. That was as far as inflation, that was a surprise number. So I'm expecting a rate hike in Europe, which we both know is probably going to bleed over the proverbial pond here. And then we got labor. So I want to get your opinion on labor. We got a labor report coming in later this week. Do you think it's going to be hot? What are we thinking there?
That's a great question. In terms of what we get out of the data out of the EU, it definitely will have an impact on the global markets, especially crypto, right? Because crypto is global. So much of the volume comes from, the US and Europe, in addition to Asia and everywhere else. But in terms of the labor report, it'll be interesting to see if things are starting to align with raising the rates, because thus far we haven't had as much of a drawback in terms of less jobs than we should have, right? I think it's slowly getting better. If I remember correctly, like from the last time we did our live stream, the last time we kind of looked at it and heard Powell speak, but it's still not there yet. Right. And for that reason, I think that's why we're seeing more interest rates, because it's not necessarily doing exactly what it's supposed to do for the labor market.
Yep. All right. Well, let's good stuff. Let's shift our attention to SHIB. Let's take a look at what's going on with Shiba Inu. SHIB is definitely pulled back a little bit, and I think you and I did a video on this earlier, and you did one as well. And I don't think we even talked this morning. And we added to our proverbial bags on Shiba Inu because of that bad boy right there. We gave up a zero. So what's your opinion here, Zach? Do you think this is a bad thing? Oh my God, the sky is falling, and we should all jump off the proverbial ship. The fact that SHIB's gone back a zero. What's your 2 cents?
I love it. I love it because I'm a long-term SHIB holder. We both are. We've been talking about that since early 2021. My target date for SHIB has always been 2025. Now, yes, have I traded SHIB in between that time frame? 100%. But I got in early, relatively early in 2021 and said, listen, this is going to be my long-term SHIB bag. I'm going to add it when these sort of things happen. One of the things that I want to see is that 50 number. Anytime we get there, I like to add there. We had that happen a few times last year in 2022. We actually dialed back, if you remember, all the way to the 507, I think, right?
Yep.
508 for sure.
Yep.
And now we're back at this 509. We've been holding this support for a really long time. We knew we were going to get a breakout or a breakdown, a little bit of a breakdown because, again, everybody out there, remember, SHIB is a massive market cap. It moves now so closely with Ethereum and with Bitcoin. When you're this big in terms of its market cap, it is so closely tied to these big cryptos. That's why you're seeing the alternative space, the meme coin space, which we're going to get into that later on in the live stream, some of the newer tokens, a lot of money shuffling around. And I definitely think there are some people saying, hey, I'm going to take some of my SHIB profits, or maybe even whatever it is, maybe it's even at a loss, and go chase this hot new thing over here. Yeah. That's okay, especially if you have a long-term time horizon, and I do with SHIB. So I'm looking at this as a big opportunity for me. How about you?
Yeah, and I think you hit on a couple of interesting points there. The volume is interesting to me. The volume pump is interesting, but that's not necessarily positive volume, right? It's just volume. So people are selling a lot, buys and sales. So the volume being up 81%, yet we're down 3.5. And I want to answer your question, but I want to jump back out to the macro. I mean, down 4%. We're seeing Bitcoin, Ethereum moving down pretty significantly. I think this is kind of ahead of the speech we talked about, or we have talked about in a lot. But back to SHIB, yeah, I think I viewed it as a very similar to you. And it was funny. I bought some. I know you bought some. We didn't even know you and I didn't talk about it. It was like, called this morning, like, hey, I bought some SHIB. Hey, so did I. I just added a little bit to my bag and kind of kept moving from that. But I think we've also got a situation, probably part of this volume play is, we've got a lot of meme coin activity going on right now, right? I think people are selling SHIB to an extent. You and I've been covering community meme coins for so long. What do we see? We see people are like, oh my God, I'm going to sell my SHIB and I'm going to go buy Pepe, or I'm going to go buy Bob, or I'm going to go buy, Suka, or whatever it may be. I think that's going on right now as well. And I know I want to talk about some of those other guys in a minute, but final thoughts around SHIB as kind of far as looking at price action. What is your thought for SHIB right here, right now? Again, you kind of said, hey, I'm buying some. What do you think the future holds here? Actually, I'll ask you this question. Do you think Shibarium is on track for kind of like still a July-ish launch? What's your 2 cents there?
Yeah, I do. I think later this year we will get Shibarium. I think that could be a great catalyst. A lot of it'll hinge on where the market is. So I really want to go back to Ethereum. We've watched SHIB follow Ethereum now so close. I mean, remember, guys, this is not a 20 million, 100 million, 500 million dollar market cap anymore. It's not. It's a 5+, 6+ billion dollar market cap. So it is a legitimate top 15 crypto that will move with the market. But I'll say this too, Austin, and if you want to respond to this, jump in. People forget Dogecoin was created back in 2013. Number one, it has a way deeper history than SHIB, right? But remember how long Dogecoin was dormant?
Yep.
No activity,
yep.
Right? And then all of a sudden, Elon Musk, that whole thing happens.
That launched my channel. Yeah. It was Elon Musk and SNL, baby. That launched my channel back in May of 21. Yeah,
exactly. I say all that because we're only about 2.5 years removed from SHIB launching. So again, when in doubt, zoom out. When you really look at this thing holistically, it's early. SHIB is very, very early days still. And There's going to be some bumps in the roads. One of them are happening right now. We saw it all in 2022, but it will come back and it will have its day again. I promise you that.
I love it. All right. Well, let's talk about the elephant in the room, Mr. Zach. The on fire crypto, the meme coin of the moment, right? Drum roll, please. Pepe. Pepe is just, man, I'm not, you know what? I'm just going to let you go. But let me refresh this. Let me hold on. This is an old version. I hadn't refreshed this. Nope, that's Dr. Pepe. Apologize. There we go. There we go. No, Pepe's gone backwards a little bit, man. It's given up a little bit of the,
That daily chart's all screwed up. I don't know why.
Yeah, I've been having issues with Dex tools recently. It's not showing the chart.
If you go to Pepe, I was looking at it.
It's still showing. It's weird. Okay, let me go to CoinMarketCap. Hold on just a minute. Talk amongst yourself right here. Go ahead. Let me go ahead. Talk about it. Let me pull. Let me go to CoinMarketCap.
Yep. And so here's the thing with Pepe, guys. It was consolidating for a really long time. Right at that, it was actually a 0 ago at that 2225 range. That's where I look to. Justin just said switch to hourly candles. That's what I've been doing too. If you want Dex tools, you go to.
I'll pull it back up, but here you go. There you go. There's CoinMarketCap. Look at that chart, man. It's crazy.
So see where all that consolidation happened?
Yeah.
That's where I accumulated a little bit. And this is what I've been saying. You never want to chase the green candles, guys. You want to wait. At least this is my point of view. I like to wait and see at least 4, 5, 6, 7 days of sideways action. Because what does that tell us? That tells us that the buyers and sellers have met at a price point. They've met in the middle and said, okay, it's a stalemate. What's next? Right? Are we going to get a breakout or a breakdown? And I had a good feeling with Pepe that was gaining traction. It's still very new, but it got so big so fast. I'm like, okay, now that it's consolidated here for 2 to 3, 4 days, I'll take a chance. And that's exactly what this is. Remember this, guys. These meme coins come out with zero utility at first. The community is the utility. This is essentially going to the casino at home on your laptop these early days. But it's also where life-changing money can be made, right? So you want to obviously, take what I like to do is take a small amount of money that says, okay, this pool of money is just for meme tokens. And Pepe, I mean, it's amazing what's happened here. It went over $500 million market cap.
Yeah.
Austin, last night I made a video. It was 230 million. I woke up, it was 520 million. I mean, it was insane. But what goes up that fast has to come down.
Yeah.
We're seeing it right here.
Yeah, I was. I mean, you're seeing. And by the way, I had to refresh like 4 times. So Dex Tool is having some issues here. But yeah, you do see this pullback, and I want to go back to something you said though, Zach. It's really, I think it's don't chase the candles, right? And it's also have a plan. Take the profits along the way. Don't ride the euphoria of it's going to go up and it's going to continue to go up and it's never going to go back. It's never going to pull back. We are seeing right here a pullback. And I like what you said about consolidation. So to me, this is actually a good thing, right? This little bit of a pullback, profit taking. I've taken some profits today on Pepe. I know you have as well. And I think it's good. I mean, but the fact of the matter is that I think what this really comes back to is, I want to get your opinion on this, is nothing bad about crypto. I'm not saying anything. The statement coming is nothing bad about Bitcoin, Ethereum, even SHIB. Is that I think that people were wanting to do something, and you and I saw this new wave of meme coins explode. Pepe was the first; it was the leader, followed by Bob, and then there was other ones like Bebe Pepe and things like this. But I think fundamentally, what I want your opinion on, Zach, here is the fact that people wanted just to, not even degen, people wanted to invest in something fun. And I think people have gone into Pepe and Bob and those guys with eyes wide open. There is no utility. They stated up front. It's just, we want to have something kind of fun. And again, full disclosure, right? Go into it eyes wide open. You may lose, the 500 or much you put into it, but they're fun. So what's your 2 cents on that?
100%. And know the risks and know how much risk you want to take. Like, there are some things out there that are risky about getting into these investments all the time. You have to do your due diligence. You have to look at it. One good thing about some of these new meme tokens that are coming out, there's no buy tax, no sell tax.
That is true.
That's one thing that really hurts people a lot, because you could have a nice profit-taking plan, but by the time you get hit with a 10% sell tax and gas fees, you didn't even make any money, right? So that's nice. Take that into consideration. Always look at those sort of things. Make sure it's not a honeypot. And DexTools has added a nice little layer on that sidebar that kind of gives you a bunch of good information. Also, here's the other thing to consider, right? When you're getting into these tokens, take a look at some of the top wallets and see how that money is distributed. Pepe has some huge, huge wallets, right? I say that because at any time, somebody can take a huge chunk out. Like last night, there was a huge dip. Obviously, that dip got eaten up. Somebody sold 350 ETH worth of Pepe.
What?
Right?
I didn't know that. Wow.
But it could be a good thing, because I think it was your pop, our friend Ahmed, who's also, content creator here on YouTube. He said, here you go. When you're watching the charts and you kind of set alerts, for big sells and big buys, there you go. You had like a 10-minute window there where, wow, huge opportunity because some big whale took profits. We saw a very similar situation with SHIB early days, too.
Yeah. And I think final thought for Pepe before we move on is that again, it has no function, it has no utility, but again, it's stated on the freaking website. Pepe is Pepe, Pepe is life, and all this kind of stuff, right? And Bob does the same thing. But that's the point. I mean, there is no illusions, there is no nothing. Just be careful. And I'm not saying that in a bad way. I said that about Shiba Inu back in the day, right? I mean, it's one of those things where, and I guess really what I'm trying to say is please don't chase the candle, right? Don't FOMO in and chase the candle, because usually that's when you're going to get wrecked in one way or the other. And I'm not just talking specifically about Pepe. I'm talking about crypto in general. Buy on the red days, sell on the green days, and all that kind of stuff. So, so with that, Zach, I want to now take a look at Bob, the next major meme coin that came after Pepe. So let's take a look at Bob, and let's see if I can get DexTools. What's your opinion of Bob? Let me see if I can get DexTools to work for me before I switch over to hey, actually it worked. Here we go. All right, cool. I love it when technology helps. So what's your opinion of Bob? By the way, let me do this for you to help you out. I love this. This is Bob's website. And I'm going to set the stage here for you right here. This to me was like the epitome of, we are not taking ourselves seriously. Everyone, Bob was like, when you go to see the doctor, if you have Bob, your wife or husband gives you trouble, see Bob. You have constipation, see Bob. You don't know where you're going in life, see Bob. What's your opinion of Bob, Mr. Zach?
It's fun. It's created another opportunity for people. And I remember when I saw the tweet. So I actually caught this really early. I caught this sub $1 million market cap, and it was probably 500,000, 600,000. And I threw a little bit at it simply because Elon responded to the Bob Twitter account,
right? And
said something like, I like Bob or something, right? And now it's just become this thing. And again, no utility here. I want to say this real quick too, Austin, because I'm seeing some comments. I don't want to respond to them directly, but I think this is important. Pepe and Bob are not in the same category as SHIB. Right? Like SHIB is in a different league now. Like, yes, they're building utility. I don't see it as a meme token. It's still under that list. It's a utility token now. But again, these things, in order for them to have staying power for years and years and years, the Pepes, the Bobs of the world, eventually they have to create some type of utility, right? Or else people get bored, right? So, but right now it's about building the community, and both of them are doing it. And Bob's just like Pepe. It's fun. It kind of moves with Pepe. That's something I've noticed too. Look, Pepe's pulling back, so is Bob, right? So I think there's a lot of similar investors in both of these.
Yeah, and so I think people would question. Here's a question for you, Zach. People would question you and I and go, "Why Austin, Zach, are you talking about Bob? Why are you talking about Pepe?" So what would you say to that? What's your opinion there?
Because there's an opportunity. I never shy away from an opportunity. Like, what do we always stress, right? Diversify. We talk about Bitcoin. We talk about Ethereum. We talk about Cardano. We talk about Polkadot. We talk about XRP. All 5 of those top 10, 15 cryptos, they all bring something different to the table. SHIB's different than Doge. XRP is different than Cardano. The meme coin space is a whole nother category. AI cryptos, which have been hot, tons of opportunities. If you lock yourself into a corner, and even worse, if you lock yourself into one token or one coin, you're missing opportunities. Point blank, period. As long as you know what your plan is, know what you're getting into, then you're going to be wide open in terms of what you're willing to invest in and how you're willing to diversify your portfolio. I think that's one of the biggest mistakes people make, Austin, is they get married to one project.
Yeah.
Because the thing you do, as soon as you do that, you shut your eyes and ears off to everything else and look at all these things happening in various sectors, right? Bitcoin's down 5%, but Pepe just went up how much, right? Overnight.
Yeah. And I think that, but I think it's, again, sorry, allergies still in Dallas in April. They're still killing me. Yeah. I think that you have to look at it from the standpoint of when you're looking at the Bobs and the Pepes and these brand new meme coins that have been around for, maybe less than a week or whatever it may be, is it goes back to the heart of something that you and I talk about all the time. I know we talked about it way back when SHIB was, back in 21, when we were covering SHIB, is that you have to go into it eyes wide open. You have to have an attitude of, if I put $400 into Bob, Pepe, insert any brand new one here, I have to be willing to lose that. I have to know that that is a pretty, very, very risky scenario. And if you go into it eyes wide open and you understand what it is you're doing, and it's not aping in. But it is something that it's a certain class of crypto that I think people want to get into because it's fun and all that kind of stuff. And you don't have to be a purist and go, I'm only going to buy Ethereum, Bitcoin, Cardano. I mean, you and I own all those others, but yet we both put a little bit of money into Bob and Pepe, and here we are,
100% agree with you. Know what you hold and know what your plan is with all those assets. I'm buying Bitcoin and Ethereum every single day. I'm not buying Pepe and Bob every single day.
Yeah.
I'm putting $500 to $600 in a couple of these cryptos early to hopefully make some money, have a plan, and take profits along the way, and now have capital to put elsewhere, whether it's Apple stock or Bitcoin or real estate or what have you.
Absolutely.
I think that's the biggest thing that these type of projects offer.
I agree.
It's to make more capital and then diversify.
I agree. Well, let's transition into this. I think that this is a good place to transition into this. Let's talk about meme coin frenzy. Okay. And we've been talking about, you and I've talked a lot about Bob and Pepe, but I really want to talk about meme coin frenzy and kind of, and in that capacity, I do want to talk about SHIB. I want to talk about SHIB, Bob, Pepe, Suka, these meme coin, which I don't like the term meme coin, but it is part of our fabric. And I think that there's people that will always confuse a Shiba Inu as an example with a Pepe. And I think that they're very much different things. SHIB, I know we always get like, what's SHIB's utility? I mean, where do I start? Right. It's layer 2 blockchain, metaverse coming, game is out, a swap's already been there, NFTs, compared to Pepe, been out 5 minutes.
Exactly.
And they're different. And I think you treat them differently. And oh, by the way, SHIB's top 14 market capitalization. So what's your 2 cents there, kind of talking about this meme coin frenzy thing that we're seeing?
Well, I think, at one point SHIB was Pepe.
Agree. Absolutely. Agree.
At one point in time, right?
Absolutely. And I'm glad you said that. That's a great point.
Right. But in order for you to reach, so far, history shows us, so far, in order to reach the Doge and the SHIB area in terms of where they are, multi-billion-dollar market caps. Guys, remember, last peak, SHIB went to nearly a $50 billion market cap. We're talking about Pepe getting to halfway toward 1 billion, right?
Yeah.
So it's very different. And Doge is still a $12 billion market cap and went, well beyond a $50 billion market cap in the previous run. But how did they do it? They went from meme to utility, in my opinion. In order for them to have staying power, how I like to say it is they reverse engineered the process. They built this super strong community, and then they said, okay, what do we want to do with this? Right. And I think Doge is still kind of figuring that out. I think SHIB's a little bit further down the road in terms of, what their identity is and what they want to do. But in order for Pepe to be here 2 years from now, remember, right? SHIB launched in August 2020. If Pepe is going to be here 2 years from now, I think they're going to do something similar. They're going to do it their own way, but they too will have the community kind of push them toward utilities, and they'll go from meme to utility.
Yeah. Well, but see, and there's other, I think there's other meme coins out there that are, to me, it's almost like you have the Doge and the Shibs of the world, the grandfathers of the space, if you will. And then you have the next generation that we're currently seeing with the Sukas, Sharbies, Koyos, which all have very, they have utility, they have stated roadmaps, they all have extremely vibrant ecosystems from a community standpoint. I applaud all of them in that capacity. And there's others like that. Floki, although Floki is more of the old school, right? Sorry. But then, so you had those, and then you had Suka, Sharby, and those guys. And now you have this new wave. You have this new wave where it's the Pepes and the Bobs, no utility, pure fun. I mean, very, very tongue in cheek, very not take themselves seriously. Community growing up around them that's rabid about owning the token, but no real, again. So what's your kind of feeling? We're literally seeing the evolution here. We're seeing this thing change by day. What's your, again, still talking about meme coin frenzy,
Yeah, you made some good points, and you made me think about something. When you look at Baby Doge and you look at Floki, what are they doing? They're following the blueprint. They're following the roadmap. They too now have their own swaps. They're getting into NFTs. They're creating those
because they followed the Shiba Inu roadmap.
Right. But what's interesting is something that Juan said in the comments there. Pepe, in 15 days or whatever that is, it's not long, it's somewhere in that neighborhood. He's right. In a moment in time, they have flipped Baby Doge and Floki, two cryptos who saw the previous bull market. They just flipped in market cap with zero utility. You can look at that a couple of different ways. One, this might be a little risky. Will it last in order for that to go up that much? Or you can say, wow, they went all the way there without any utility. There might be something here. There might be some huge opportunity here, right? So you can look at it in kind of two different ways.
But hold on, but wouldn't you say okay? But here's my rebuttal. I agree, but here's my rebuttal. You're seeing Pepe and Bob in their absolute euphoric moment of hype,
sure,
right? Whereas Floki, I mean, if you go back and look at like Floki or Dogelon, and you look at their all-time high market caps,
that's another one. Elon,
they were massive, right? I'm not minimizing your statement, but I think it's also you're looking at snapshots in time. But it does go back to that hype and the Floki and Dogelon Shib. They've been around for years,
Good points, and I think too when you're looking at it from a risk standpoint, it's less risky to put in money into Shib or Doge because they've been here. And you could even say the same for Baby Doge and Floki, right? Because here's the other thing you could say. They've just went through a bear market, a bad one in 2022. That was brutal, right? Pepe really hasn't done that yet. Like, it hasn't faced adversity. Bob hasn't really faced adversity as much. We'll see, right? Time will tell. But it's going to be interesting to watch this thing play out, man. It's one thing. One thing about the meme coin space is it keeps things interesting no matter what type of market we're in. Bull, bear. Meme coins are still here, and there's always something.
They're always going to be here.
Always something.
And final thought on this meme coin frenzy that I want to address is that you see the evolution. So if you look at Bob and Pepe and all of the ones that are surrounding it, what are they doing? No utility, tongue in cheek, very fun, very meme based, right? They're embracing the meme. But again, I want to go back to something, Zach, you said, no taxes, I've seen some of them I've seen 1 or 2% sell, whatever it is, but there's no taxes. And I think that's another thing. We're going to continue to see the evolution. I think a month from now, there's going to be, well, not even a month, probably a week. There's going to be something else. Somebody, and it's interesting to see, because you and I look at it every day to see the evolution and how it changes and how you kind of morph. And so, watch it here. I bet you somebody does this. The next thing will be kangaroos. I don't know. I'm just making that up. Right. Yeah. But now I guarantee you, Austin Kangaroo is going to come out. By the way, that's not me. I didn't come out with it. I'm never going to launch a crypto token project. But you get my point. Is that we're seeing the evolution, and I don't really know what was the spark. Do you know what was the spark for Pepe? Why did somebody grab the little Pepe meme frog thing and go? Was there nothing?
I mean, not that I know of. I mean, but that's what makes it so interesting. Like that. Yeah. That's what makes it so like, how the heck did this happen? And then it just catches on. I mean, the same thing happened with Doge. Same thing happened with SHIB. Like, why? You know, why the the Dogecoin killer? We knew, we heard that, but then, I mean, it was fun, man. And the same thing's happening here. Yeah. I want to reiterate this real quick, and I know we're wrapping this thing up. You can't have the same mindset investing in Bitcoin and investing in Pepe.
Amen. Right? Amen. Preach, brother. Go.
They are totally different. But here's the thing. You can invest in both, but you just have to have different plans.
Sure.
This is something we stress all the time. It should have its unique position in your portfolio. You should have a unique plan in place with that asset. You know, when I look at Bitcoin, Ethereum, Cardano, for me personally, those are long-term plays, next decade plays.
Yes.
Right?
Yes. And a final thought to that. It's funny, you and I catch a lot of heat, right? And it's just part of sitting in this seat. It's funny, people come in the comments like, oh my God, you're talking about Pepe. Why are you talking about Bob? I'm like, because it's crypto. It's part of the space. It is a meme coin. We talk about meme coins on our channels all the time. Meme coins are massive part of the community and the space. And so my rebuttal, not in a bad way, but my rebuttal is, to your point, is that it doesn't have to be an all or nothing scenario. You can have a good plan, own Bitcoin, Ethereum, Cardano, et cetera. And if you want to, go buy some Pepe, go buy some Bob, go buy some SHIB. Just go into it eyes wide open and have a plan. And know that if you put 500 into a thing like Pepe or Bob, you might lose it. Not saying anything bad about Pepe or Bob. I want to keep saying that. It's just part of the deal, you know?
Right. 100%.
Part of the deal.
And I'll say this too, like all of crypto, we're investing in a speculative market. It's all speculative, but that speculation is on a spectrum, if that makes sense, right?
Yeah.
Like it's a little bit less speculative to invest in Ethereum, Bitcoin over anything else, right? Because all of this sort of things, right? It's been around longer. It's already been deemed a commodity amongst the SEC, and all countries are backing it, right? A lot of things happening. Cardano is trying to become, the cryptocurrency, the blockchain that revolutionizes finance in Africa. That's a little bit different, right? And
absolutely.
But just know what you're investing in, know how long you want to hold, have a plan.
And take profits, baby. Take profits. Take profits.
Yep.
Okay. So I want to talk about is that kind of the overall state of crypto. Let's take a look at the chart. Let's take a look at what's going on with Bitcoin, Ethereum. And let's do that right now. Okay. So let me pull that chart up here for you real quickly. Let me go here, get this ready. Don't pay attention to what the man behind the curtain's doing. Right. All right. What movie was that from? Do you know? Don't pay attention to what the man behind the curtain's doing.
Dude, I'm terrible with movie references, man. I'm like the worst person to ask.
Watching the movies. It was Yellow Brick Road. God, I completely lost it. Wizard of Oz.
Oh, Wizard of Oz.
Wizard of Oz. They go to see the wizard, and and he's behind and there's this curtain, and he's like talking this really booming voice. Have you seen the Wizard of Oz?
Oh yeah, I have.
Okay. Well, and then they're like, don't pay attention to what the man behind the curtain is doing.
Have you watched Wizard of Oz but muted and then listened to Dark Side of the Moon at the same time?
No.
Let me know down below in the comments if anybody's done that.
That's a whole other experience.
Watch Wizard of Oz, but listen to Dark Side of the Moon, and it matches up perfectly. It is one of those weird things that I don't know if they meant to do that or if the universe is just being
weird. Have to do that. All right. Yeah. So, wow, how did we get there, man? Okay,
Mr. Randoms knows.
Yeah, all right, here we go. All right, so we are down 4.5%. Zach, why is crypto down right now? Give us the answer, sir.
Well, I mean, we've been trending down already. I mean, since Bitcoin was up over 30,000, we popped over there, I think, one more time. But I think we were due for a pullback, number one. We were overbought a little bit on the RSI. We knew that. And I think what you said earlier is true. I think people are gearing up for another 25 basis point move. And I think there could be a little bit of manipulation happening because of that, right?
Yeah.
We're lessening some prices. I would not be shocked at all if we get some positive sentiment out of JPOW tomorrow to see Bitcoin back over 30K tomorrow. I mean,
Well,
that's
no,
the
he's
thing.
going to be JPAL's
Or
Wednesday.
be on the 3rd. I'm sorry. Yeah. Wednesday.
Yeah.
That's the thing with crypto. I mean, we're sitting here like, oh my gosh, Bitcoin's at 28K. It could go to 26K tonight. And then in 2 days from now, it could be at 32,000. And we're like, oh yeah, that was crazy. Right.
Yeah.
That's my 2 cents. I mean,
yeah, no, I mean, we've got a ton of volatility coming into the mix, right? Final thoughts here on this. We've got Federal Reserve FOMC meeting starts on May 2nd. We don't care about May 2nd. We care about May 3rd. That's when, Papa Powell, Chairman Powell does his thing. 2:30, usually it's 2:30 Eastern, right? 1:30 Central. I think that's so, and we'll be live on that. But I think they've got that. But yes, I think that the 25 basis points is built into the market, but I think you're seeing the sell off, the fear leading into that. But then we've got the European, ECB basically meeting later this week. I think it's Thursday. Basically a variation on the Federal Reserve FOMC meeting. That's going to happen. Are they going to raise the rates? Probably. So you've got that over there because they're getting surprised. But ironically, the UK coming out last month saying that they were 10% inflation was a surprise number, So I think that spooked everybody. Then final thought, we have the labor reports coming out, the unemployment and the farm, non-farm or the farm payroll. I always get that one wrong, but we got the labor reports coming out later this week. So yeah, it's kind of a crazy week. And to me, it creates the reason you're seeing this right here, that number, and the reason you're seeing Bitcoin down 5%, Ethereum down 4% is one word. It's uncertainty.
Yep. 100%. 100%. People get emotional and they tend to, hang on to what they got. Let me sell. Let me get out of here before it gets real ugly. And yeah.
I always just have this picture of people like, you've heard me in my videos, like where I talk about I have this picture, we're on the ocean and there's a ship and you're on the ship and people think that the ship's on fire and like, I don't see any fire. Why are you jumping off the ship into the middle of the ocean and there's sharks down there?
Yeah. It's just, I think one of the things that I think we're always trying to like get better at this, but man, if you could just become numb to the ebbs and flows of the market and news and press releases and all of these things that are meant to create fear and create uncertainty, if you could become numb to that, those are the best traders. Those are usually the people who look up 10 years from now and say, yeah, I bought Bitcoin and yeah, this is what happened.
Well, okay. That's a really good point. So when you were saying that, my thought was, and you'd have had this conversation. You and I are not traders. I am not a day trader. I'm barely a swing trader. I tend to hold a little bit longer than I probably should. But what's happened? But here's the interesting thing. I don't really let my emotions get away with me. When it comes to a large, probably 95% of my portfolio, my Bitcoin, Ethereum, and all that kind of stuff, because I look at it like, okay, I look at a day like this that we just said. I look at a day like this where I think there's a certain contingent of people out there that are freaking out. They're like, oh my God, the overall crypto market is down almost 5%. Bitcoin's down 5%, blah, 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 blah. And they start running around and they start freaking out. Whereas I look at it and go, I own Bitcoin, Cardano, Shiba Inu, and I'm looking at it as a multi-year hold. I don't care that crypto's down 5 points today because I look at it, go, you've heard me in videos. Ask yourself one question, right? You probably know what I'm about to say. Ask yourself one question. Do you believe that number right there, 1.16 trillion, is going to get bigger? Yes or no? Yeah. And if you do, don't stress. Is it going to go to 3 trillion, 4 trillion, 5 trillion? And you're willing to wait and you're okay with the waiting scenario. I don't let a 5% down day even faze me. What's your 2 cents around that?
I agree with everything. And you made me think of something else I think is really important. I think a lot of people make this mistake. And I made this mistake early on, especially, when I had very, very little capital to put up. I put too much in.
Okay.
And then you see that go down 20 to 30%. You're like, oh, let me just get it all out before I lose it all because I got to pay rent this week. Right. Or I got to buy groceries. Or so we always say it, right? Only invest what you're willing to lose. But like, take that to heart, because then what you're putting into Bitcoin or you're putting in once a month to Ethereum, you don't need that money to live. You're less likely to go in there and make an emotional decision.
Right.
Right.
Agreed.
So
Agreed.
I think that's important too.
Excellent. All right. Well, let's wrap up there. Zach, I appreciate you spending some time with myself. And guys, thank you so much for tuning in, and have a great day. View this as an opportunity. This is, of course, not investing advice, but a 5% move down in the market is a 5% discount. Bitcoin's at a 5% discount. Everything else. Have a plan. If you're going to move in and go buy meme coins and things like that, have a plan. Take profits. Know what you're getting into, and just have a long-term view of crypto. So you have any final thoughts, Mr. Humphreys?
No, you hit on it. Thank you guys so much for checking it out, and have a fantastic week. We'll be doing these a little bit more often, I think, too. So,
all right, we'll see you. Take care.
Yes.